What's up, empaths? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chan. I am a psychic medium and spiritual mentor here to support empaths on their spiritual journey to alignment and their most abundant path. So, little disclaimer here. I don't know if you can hear the fan in the background. It's a heating fan because I'm currently in Canada and it is motherfucking cold here. So, I hope that doesn't bother you if you can hear it. Yeah, it needs to stay on because I'm freezing. My little nose is... the tip of my nose is red because I'm cold. Anyways, so in today's video, I want to share how to make soulful decisions. And what I mean by that is how to make decisions from your soul, from your higher self, rather than from your ego self, okay? And I've made a specific video on this topic a few videos back, and I believe it's called Manifesting with Your Ego versus Your Soul, which I highly recommend you check out that video if you want to have more juice behind your manifestations and create a life that is really aligned with your truest self. But in this particular video, I am going to be sharing with you exactly how to make soulful decisions and why it's important to make soulful decisions. And I'm also going to give you some personal examples so that you can see the difference between making an ego decision, so from the thinking mind, versus making a decision that comes from your heart, from your soul, and from your higher self. All right, so are we ready to get into this topic? Because this is not a surface level topic, okay? If you're watching this video, you're obviously an empath who is highly sensitive, highly aware, very in tune with your intuition and with the universe, and you simply want to expand and grow. So this message is for you. All right, so I guess I'm going to start with, why is it important to make decisions from our soul versus from our ego? So our ego is connected to the external reality, okay? Our ego is a very manipulative, calculated version of ourselves, okay? So when you're working with your ego, the thinking mind up here, okay? Essentially, you are, and I'm not even going to say you because it's really your ego, it's not your true self. So your ego is always saying, how can I get blank? So your ego is always trying to get and to take from the external reality. So how can I get a partner? How can I get money? How can I get whatever? Okay? It's always trying to get something on the outside to fulfill a feeling within. And I'm not going to go into detail on this because this is a really this is like advanced knowledge that I'm going to make another video on this because it's that notch higher than what I'm talking about right now, okay? But it's trying to get something on the outside to fulfill an inner need. So that could be something like, when I get my brand new car, I am going to feel super confident in myself. Okay? Or when I get this type of partner, this dream partner of mine, I'm going to feel loved. And most of the time, we will get the thing, we'll get the partner, we'll get the car, we'll get the job, we'll get the new outfit, and we do not feel the feeling we thought we were going to feel when we get that thing, okay? And the only thing I'm going to say on that topic is that there is absolutely no way for an external thing to make you feel a certain way in a sustainable, long-lasting way. You need to tap into that in your own body, okay? So that is just one aspect. I get a little passionate about these things, and when I do, I lose my thoughts, my train of thought. So, I was talking about why it's important to make decisions from the soul. Yes. So, the reason I was mentioning the ego is to show you that you will be constantly chasing your whole entire life if you are working and manifesting with your ego. Because you're always going to think it's out there when it's not out there. Okay, that's part one. Part two, why it's important to make soulful decisions and to manifest from the soul is because your soul is your most authentic expression. Your soul resides in your heart space, and your heart space or your heart chakra is directly connected to your emotional world, and it's also directly connected to the divine, because your soul is a piece of God. It's a piece of the universe. And that's why we hear a lot that we are one with all things. The universe lives within us. And that part of the universe that lives within us is our soul. So, why would it be important for you to want to make soulful decisions? It's because when you tap into your soul desires, now you are accessing that infinite part of yourself, which means that you're working directly with the universe within you. And when you tap into what your soul desires, and you can make a decision from a soul place, you are now accessing limitless possibilities for your life. So for example, if you want to be in a relationship, instead of saying, I just want to get whatever partner out there and like go on Tinder and do all the things and go on 17 dates to try to get that partner, and you just kind of settle with whoever because you just want a partner, well, you're not going to really feel that everlasting love that you truly, on a soul level, want to experience. So when you make a decision from your soul and you having a brain fart. When you make a decision from your soul and you are following the desire of your soul, which means I want to feel love, well, you now open yourself up to a million possibilities to feel love. And that can be through family, friends, romantic partners, animals, experiences in life, coworkers, whatever. Because really, it's our ego that says, if I want to feel love, I need a partner. But that is not even true. Your partner is only going to give you one type of love. And your friends are going to give you a different type of love. And your coworkers or your clients are going to give you a different type of love. So really, what your soul wants to experience is love, right? The feeling, the embodiment of love in a very general, open-ended sense. And the thing about making soulful decisions rather than making decisions from the ego is that when you make decisions from your ego, you think you know what you want, right? Like I mentioned, if you're like, oh, I want to get this brand new car because it's going to make me look super fly and confident and I'm going to get all the attention. Okay, well, that's not actually true, because what you want isn't really that car. What you're seeking is to be seen, is to feel loved, is to feel recognized. Okay, but there are longer lasting, more sustainable ways to access those feelings, and it's not going to be from a car, because a car is just a car. It cannot make you feel something, right? So that's why when you make a decision from your soul, you are now accessing infinite possibilities, and you don't necessarily need to know what it's going to look like or how it's going to happen, because you're tapping into that universal side of yourself, that infinite, limitless self. So if you're clear on how you want to feel, and the feeling is, I want to feel seen, and you simply focus on feeling seen, and you make yourself feel seen, and you connect with yourself, and you connect with your heart, well, now the universe is going to send you infinite opportunities to feel seen in ways that you could not even imagine. I really hope that this is making sense. And if this resonates, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have been maybe operating from your ego self and you're ready to switch to more soulful decisions and manifesting with the soul. Because that was definitely something that I faced many times, and I still face this in in a few areas of my life. Now, so before I get into some personal experiences, I do want to share how to make soulful decisions, okay? So tip number 1, soulful decisions will never make sense to the mind, okay? So let's use the example of love. If your ego wants a partner to feel loved, it's going to think, okay, well, the logical thing to do is to go out to the bar, open up a Tinder profile or a Hinge profile, meet new people, blah, 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 right? That's logical. But the soul who wants to experience love is not necessarily going to attract love in a logical, linear way. So it's not a step-by-step process when you're making a decision from your soul. It's not a step 1, 2, 3 climbing up the ladder of making decisions. It's an infinite, global, open-ended way of making decisions. I really hope I'm making sense. Because sometimes these topics can get a little bit airy-fairy. So I'm trying to stay grounded and clear so that this can be super, super clear to you. So my nose is leaking, guys, because it's cold in here. Okay. I'm just getting my thoughts straight. And guys, this is why I really like making unedited videos, and that's like a soulful thing, right? So this is kind of sort of related. So I wanted to feel more feminine. I wanted to really tap into my divine feminine energy. And so my soul was like, well, when you make YouTube videos, like, stop editing them. And to my mind, that didn't make any sense, because I was like, well, if I just speak to the camera, I'm going to have pauses, and I'm going to want to stop, or I'm going to want to fix my hair, I'm going to want to do whatever. And that could be annoying for the viewer, right? So obviously my ego was like, well, no, I should edit, because that way it's going to be all chopped up, it's going to be fast, the message is going to get out. But because I want to feel more feminine, I want to be more in my emotions, I want to be more in my body. And how can I experience that, or how can I even demonstrate that, is by being okay with these pauses in the video. And being okay with losing my train of thought. Because before, I would just be like, oh, I could just edit that out. Well, now I can't hide. And that's the beauty of being in your feminine, is really expressing your true self. So that's like one aspect of it, right? And because I am more in this free-flowing state when I'm filming a video, I bet you probably connect a little bit better with me. Rather than when I edit everything and I make things look cool and funny and choppy and whatever. You probably see me more as a human rather than some persona that you're watching through your phone. And it's just better. And I noticed as well that when I started to film more videos that were more free-flowing and feminine and grounded and just whatever, and I just let everything happen and I went with the flow, I received more interactions on my videos, and I received more subscribers and more views. So I was like, yeah, that's cool, right? Because like my ego was like, okay, how do I get more views on YouTube? Well, I need a good thumbnail, and I need to post at a good time, and I need hashtags, and I need a good description, and I need this, and I need that, and bada. Oh yeah, I need sound effects. Okay, you see how my ego is limited? I need this in order to get what I want. Well, no, actually, following my soul's calling and saying, just who cares what people think? Just be yourself, film this way, share it, you don't have to edit it, whatever. Actually got me to the result a lot faster than my ego. So that's also a really important, I guess, reason why you want to make soulful decisions, is because it will get you to the result faster, because you don't have any blocks or limits, right? You're not placing any boundaries on your result, on your desire. And when you make a soulful decision, you're opening up to infinite possibilities. So another thing that you want to focus on when you are making soulful decisions and knowing how to do so is notice the feeling that you're feeling, okay? So if you're like, I want to have a successful business. Okay. Well, when you think about, let's say, showing up for your business, are you coming from a place of like telling yourself you need to do this and you should do this and like having this huge to-do list and like putting all this work on your shoulders and everything that you need to do? How do you feel? Because for some people, to-do lists and working 10 hours a day is exciting because they like the hustle, they like the grind. Okay? Whereas for me, I hate that shit. And I'm also a human design projector, so that shit's never going to work for me. And by the way, I want to make a video on that. Side note. So for me, being an entrepreneur, well, I really, really, really tried to focus on this more. Because when I was making decisions for my ego and saying, well, I should show up today, I should post a video, I should make a post, I should pitch my offer, I should XYZ. Because it makes sense, right? It never worked. It never fucking worked. Okay, now step back. When I was launching one of my most amazing programs, the Psychic Mentorship Program, I talk about it all the time because it's literally going to change your life. When I attracted a client to me that was like ready to pay in full, ready to fucking go, like she was ready, okay? What was I doing? I wasn't posting. I was outside sitting in nature, looking at the trees and listening to the birds. That's when she messaged me. I didn't pitch. I didn't post anything about it. I didn't do anything to attract her to me. Yes, all the posts previously and me talking about it obviously attracted her to me. But in that moment, I wasn't trying to make something happen and I wasn't trying to get something. And she was like, hey, I'm ready to sign up, like ready to go. Where can I pay? You know, and that's the beauty of things. And I'm using that as an example because I'm an entrepreneur. But that could be anything with you, right? Waiting for someone to text you back. Or waiting for somebody to ask you out on a date. Or, you know, you're waiting for a job offer, whatever. I'm using the term waiting, but like you don't need to be waiting. But just like when we're in that space of we're trying to create something and we want to be in that receiving mode and to receive it, like what is the feeling? Like for me, the feeling of sitting outside and listening to the birds and looking at the trees was very peaceful. It was calming. I was grounded. I was connected to myself, my emotions, my body, and bam, I got what I wanted. Because really, if I think about it, the reason I wanted to become an entrepreneur and have an online business is so that I can feel inner peace. Is so that I can take time to relax and ground and be in nature. So when I tap into that feeling, well, it just makes everything a lot easier. Everything just comes to me more, right? So that's a really important way to also learn how to make soulful decisions, is to focus on how you feel. If you're feeling agitated, if you're feeling needy, if you're feeling like restricted, well, you're operating from your ego, which means most likely not going to yield the results that you want. But when you're focused on the feeling that you want to feel, or you're doing things and activities and taking actions that make you feel peaceful and grounded and excited and connected, that energy is very magnetic, and that's going to attract more of what you want. So making soulful decisions is really tapping into your heart space, tapping into that heart chakra. Because when you tap into your emotions, you're now starting to activate the magnetism to really call in all those things to you. And there was something else that I wanted to say. So yeah, the first one is soulful decisions are not usually going to make sense, right? Because if I think about it, is sitting outside, listening to the birds and staring at the trees productive in the modern world, in this patriarchy? Not at all. People will be like, what are you doing? You're lazy, you're procrastinating. But I wasn't. I was embodying a higher vibration and a higher version of myself. So of course I attracted what I wanted. Right? There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm thankful that I remembered. So, making soulful decisions is going to trigger your ego. It's going to put your ego into a fear state. And that's why you cannot rely on fear to stop you from doing what you truly want to do. So as I say to my clients all the time, feel the fear and do it anyways, okay? So think about this. Let's take the past example. When I'm sitting outside, chilling in nature, not working on my business, I attract a high ticket client. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When I decided that day, like, I'm just going to take it easy. I'm not going to work today. I'm just going to slow down. My ego was freaking the fuck out. It was like, well, you can't do that because if you do that, then we're not going to get what we want and we're not going to be successful and we're not going to blah, 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 right? Your ego goes into a state of fear. And you never want to make a decision from a place of fear. Because if you're making a decision from a place of, oh no, what if this and what if that and oh my God, well, you're really operating from your ego self, which is your limited self. But what did I decide to do? I heard my ego being very freaked out. And I was like, okay, I hear you, but I'm still going to go do this for myself because it's nurturing. It makes me feel good. And I get to do this for myself. The whole point of having an online business is to be free, is to be free to make the decisions you want to make. So I'm going to go do that thing. And yeah, it was freaking out for a little bit, but then it got me to where I wanted to go a lot faster than if I were to just sit here and do things from a place of fear. So you can't rely on fear to make decisions. Now, for example, maybe there's this dream job and you really want that job, but your ego goes into this state of why it's not going to work. Like, well, you're not qualified, you don't have experience in this field, there's only one available spot, this is way higher salary than you've ever had before, like there's no way you're going to be able to make this happen, blah blah blah, right? Sorry guys, I know this is kind of gross, but my nose is leaking from being cold, so don't judge me. But I know you're judging me. Sorry. I know it's really annoying. Anyways, and I have air in my mouth. Yes, but your soul is telling you, apply, call them, go for the interview, show up, right? But your head, your ego is like, but what if this, what if that, what if they kick you out, what if they tell you you suck, what if they tell you you're not good enough, blah, blah, blah. You have to do it anyways, even if the fear is there, because it's coming from your soul. So you also, again, in that situation, want to pay attention to how you're feeling, because even though the fear is present in the mind and the ego, you most likely feel a deep sense of excitement, a deep pull and a call to pursue something. And you really have to listen to that feeling. And if there's a part of you that starts to daydream after that, like you see yourself in this job and you see yourself making more money and helping more people and it's exactly what you're good at and da-da-da, but then your ego goes, but blah, 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 we're not good enough and we can't do it because we don't have the criteria and we don't have this and this and that. Just know that if you have this soul calling and you go into a daydream state and then your ego cuts it off, you're really coming from a soulful place, because your soul and your intuition will always speak to you first and your ego will always have a rebuttal. So that's also how you know that you're making a soulful decision. It's coming up first and then your ego has something to say about it. So your intuition always is the first thing. Your soul always says the first thing, and then your ego has something to say about it. So as I close up this video, never listen to the second voice. Never listen to the second thing that is speaking to you, telling you, but blah, 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 right? What is coming up for you first? And now let's take a little moment to reflect. Like, what is something that you in your heart have been wanting to do or wanting to pursue or wanting to try, but your ego has been standing in your way. Because really that's what we mean when we say we are standing in our own way. It's really our ego, our small self, that is standing in the way. Your soul is telling you something. Your soul is really telling you every single day what you, like what's best for you, what's for your highest. And if I give you like a last example before I hop off, is my boyfriend and I, last year, we were living in the most beautiful farmhouse ever. Like legit dream home. He renovated 90% of the house. We had no neighbors. We had the most beautiful view, 360 view of pure nature. It was beautiful. I loved that home so much. It was my safe haven. And in 2021, my boyfriend had an amazing idea to sell the house and buy an RV and travel Canada and the United States. To the ego, that made no freaking sense, right? Almost done paying our mortgage. We have a beautiful fucking house, no neighbors, peaceful. Everything is pretty much renovated. Like we could have a family. No, we went with the soul calling. It doesn't make sense to sell the house, but we went with our soul. And it was amazing. We had a buyer. First day we posted the house. They did not even negotiate the price, so we got the exact price we wanted. And then we literally spent 9 months on the road, traveling through Canada, the United States, and we're back in Canada now, and it's the most beautiful experience ever. And now it's amazing what's happening next. Like, we're thinking about building our own home, and like, everything is just infinite possibility for us. But if we went with our ego, we wouldn't have had access to all this freedom and travel and excitement and new experiences and new connections. So, I'm going to leave you on that note. Let me know in the comments below, what has your soul been calling you to do? I'm so excited for you. Please listen to your soul's calling. There's so much magic that is waiting for you. I hope you have a lovely day. And if ever you want to work with me, I'm going to leave a link right in the description box below for you to be able to connect with me. I'll see you in another video.